Hello everyone, welcome back to the Random Venom. I'm your host Ravenwood, and welcome back to the Star Wars the Black Series collection. It's the Star Wars collection from the Black Series. Yeah. Sorry, I'm just a little bleh. And for today's episode, apologies again. For today's episode will be we will be covering Obi-Wan Kenobi, Padawan and according to the back here, the 2019 version of this figure. Now technically, now this is for the package that he came in, but I'm looking for something. Okay, so it's just not available. Anyways, the specific box that this was supposed to come in was not that it makes any deal, like it doesn't change the figure or anything like that. I prefer those boxes though, because I don't like the whole piece of cardboard that basically is. This is not appealing to look at when I look at this. I do the dark work when I read the back, and then flip flop. Anyways, there's nothing here to look at that's appealing. Is what I'm trying to say. But anyways, when I read the back, anyways, as a Padawan, Obi-Wan Kenobi was the headstrong apprentice to Qui-Gon Jinn. When the Jedi Council granted him knighthood, he fulfilled Qui-Gon's dying wish of training Anakin Skywalker in the Force, even though it's supposed to only happen in the that it's supposed to tell about his. I don't know why it talks about his future self, the achievements that his future self achieved. But anyways, so this is the Phantom Menace. The Black Series, Obi-Wan Kenobi. Now, I don't know how many Mace Windows there are, or if Mace Windu is sold in the different, if Mace Windu is sold in a different movie, whatever thing. Well, yeah. What I'm trying to say is, I don't know if Mace Windu is sold in a different movie collection or whatever. But as far as that goes, if he does, if he when I researched him, right, the figure, it says it's part of the Phantom Menace figure line. So, but I think there's that he appears in the other figure lines as well, because you would think that since he appeared in the other toys. Sorry, since he appeared in the other films, then one would reason that his figure would be resold, or maybe given a new accessory in those other films. But anyways, so yeah, I'll be throwing this away now. Don't need it. Now for Obi-Wan Kenobi, likewise, with all the other figures. He can bend his knees. I like the feeling of this fake like it feels like it's made out of the fabric. It feels like it's made out of the cloth, but it's not. I kind of like that feeling. It's this weird plastic, and it's like but basically it's like the texture that's making you feel, making you think you feel one thing when it's actually another thing. Anyways, his head rotates. He has this weird Padawan braid right here. This thing that you can just move around. You can tuck it behind him if you want to. I wish it came with his brown robe that he has in the movie. But for some reason, no. They didn't do that. Anyways, his Padawan braid. You can, like all the other figurines, he can rotate his waist. Not rotate, you can move around you know, his waist and chest, whatever. You move this in the section, the torso, and the yeah. I'm just a little out of it today. Sorry if I'm failing my words, but anyways, here's this nice blue lightsaber. For some reason, it's bent or something. I don't know. Could be because of the fact that I kept on trying to mess with put it into his hand or whatever, and it just bend incorrectly, or just it's not warped, but like it just kind of bend a little bit. Taking it, forcing it out of his hand, that can rotate 360 degrees. Again, my problem that I have with the fake plastic cloth is that it's bulky. And me personally, it gets in the way of like bending his elbow joints, because like it's supposed to be fluid, right? That's the only downside to having this fake plastic cloth like thing, and why Barbies are superior in a sense, like, you know, the Kens and the Barbie dolls. I don't have a Barbie doll, but so I wouldn't actually know. I feel like personally, I feel like Barbie dolls are superior in the sense of being able to move their joints and not having to worry about whether the cloth would get in the way or not. Well, not that it wouldn't be a problem. I imagine it probably might be a problem depending on the type of cloth and how the joints move. But like, I feel like what I'm trying to say is like, I would imagine oh yeah, he can rotate his arm 360. He could break it. My arm. He can't. Well, he can break. You can break his leg, I guess, for whatever reason. But yeah, you can bend his knee that way. You can bend his knee, but you're not forward. Just barely forward. You can't like pretend it's broken or whatever, but you can pretend that the wrist is broken. But yeah, anyways, it's fine. Standability. Okay, again, I don't know why you have like holes on the bottom of the feet. I'm assuming that maybe if you have some sort of platform that you have them posed on, like the Halo. I don't have the shelf again. Like the Halo platforms or whatever that I have. But anyways, I guess this is going to be a problem with all the figurines. For some reason, all the figurines don't want to have flat feet. They don't. They don't want to have flat feet or whatever. To where you can pose them in just about any way. They do have ankle tiltage, or they can tilt their feet, or you know, the legs, the ankles. Sorry. That's interesting. But again, the problem, I have less problem with them with the Transformers, and well, I say that even though the tall, skinny ones don't. The bulkier, like, I don't know what I'm talking about. I guess what I'm trying to say is like, it's a lot easier with the flat, like when the feet of a figurine is wider. Is wider, and flatter. So to rely on one of those stands or whatever that helps the figure pose or whatever, and any unique pose ability or whatever. Again, another problem that I have is that because of this plastic, because of the fact that it's not cloth-like, you can't. This is the same problem I have with the Transformers in a sense, because they can't do this. Okay, and I can't move their. You know, it's going to be a problem with all of them. So I'm complaining about stuff that I don't know. Like, okay, so you would imagine, like, because of the fact that it gets in the way, right? You can't have the arm completely fold up, right? So that's the problem. There's limitations to the figures, and it's okay to address them. I know I address them in every episode or something like that. But Padawan braid, you could put it behind him, you could put it in front of him, you could put it to the side, you could twirl it around, but be gentle. I feel like if I mess with it too much, it could just snap off, and I wouldn't want that. But yeah. And because of the fact that I can't have his arms go like this, it's much harder for me to have him wield his lightsaber like this, like he's holding it. So unfortunately for stop motion, no, this will not be. I would not recommend this. Now the thing is, I could do this, right? Or no, I can't do this. But what I can do is bend the arm like this, and then just like bend the other arm like this, and then thus twist it like that, right? But that's, again, limiting. But however, I feel like this is a better figure than the Padme figurine that I had with. And the fact that neither, the only problem is that now I can't stand. Stand, will you, please? He can stand on one toe, like it's one flat on one foot and on one toe. He has right on lower. Yeah, see how he's like bouncing on his toe. That's what I'm trying to point out. Yeah, he can do that without having some sort of stand or something to help him be supported. But anyways, not much to say about Obi-Wan. He does have the high ground here. Well, I have the high ground because I'm taller. But now he has a low ground. I defeated him. Anyways, so that's all for today's episode. Again, the articulation is nice, but again, I'm gonna have the same complaint about all these figurines. It's like I wish they had just like cloth-like fabric or flat, cloth-like clothing or something that they can, and the ability to at least do this, clap their hands, not without having to bend their elbows. Anyways, that's all I've got for today's episode. He'll wake up from his nap. Trust me. Bye-bye!